Wales has its own law-making history, which goes back beyond the days of Hywel Dda, a 10th century Welsh king who arranged the laws of Wales. Wales came under English rule in 1282, and later became a member of the United Kingdom. More recently, public votes, called a referendum, were held to decide if decisions over certain issues should be made in Wales for Wales, a process which is called devolution. Wales said yes in 1997, and in 1999 the National Assembly for Wales was born. Back then, the Assembly had very limited powers to make laws. But in another referendum, in 2011, the people of Wales voted for more lawmaking powers. On the 6th of May 2020, a law came into force which changed the name of the National Assembly for Wales to the Welsh Parliament, commonly known as the Senedd, to reflect how its role has grown. Now the Senedd makes laws for Wales, agrees Welsh taxes, and controls many issues that affect our day-to-day lives. The law also lowered the voting age for Senedd elections. This means that 16 and 17-year-olds now have a say over who represents them. But how does it all work? 60 members are elected to the Senedd. They are known as members of the Senedd, or MS. 40 are elected to represent small areas called constituencies, and the other 20 members represent bigger areas called regions. When voting in the Senedd elections, you have 2 votes. The first is to vote for someone to represent your constituency, and the second for someone to represent your region. So, all in all, you have 5 members that represent you in the Senedd. This makes it more likely that at least one member will be from the party you support and share your views on a particular issue. The party with the most seats will usually form the Welsh Government. Parties can also decide to form a government together, which is known as a coalition. The members choose a presiding officer who chairs meetings in the Senedd. They also choose the First Minister, who is appointed by the Queen to lead Welsh governments. The First Minister will decide which members of the Senedd should join the Welsh Government as Welsh Ministers. But what are they responsible for? The Welsh Government is responsible for making decisions on many of the issues that affect our day-to-day lives. The UK Parliament makes laws on certain issues that affect the whole of the UK. These are called reserved subjects, including nuclear energy, foreign affairs and defence. In Wales, we can make laws on issues that aren't reserved to the UK Parliament. The Welsh Government proposes ideas for laws and makes decisions on how to spend around £17 billion a year on issues like education, healthcare, the environment, culture and language, and transport. The job of the other members of the Senedd is to consider, debate and vote on the laws proposed and money spent by the Welsh Government, and make suggestions on steps that should be taken to make Wales a better place to live and work. Since 1999, some significant laws have been passed that have helped make Wales a leading country for recycling, given the Welsh language official status, and made significant changes to the organ donation system. So how does voting work? Back when voting began in the UK, only very wealthy men were allowed to vote. Over the years, more and more people demanded and won the right to vote. If you're 16 or over on election day and live in Wales, you can vote to choose members for a 5-year term to make decisions on issues that affect your day-to-day life. But how will you know who to vote for? The majority of candidates will be members of political parties. Before an election, these parties publish what's known as a manifesto, outlining what they hope to do if they get in power. These are published in the weeks leading up to the election and can be found on the party's websites and shared on social media. You might also get an idea on how different parties and candidates feel about different issues on TV debates and political party broadcasts. Is voting simple? Yes. You can register online and it only takes 5 minutes. Once you're registered, you'll receive information through the post before election day about where your polling station is in your area, and you'll have between 7 AM and 10 PM on election day to cast your vote. You don't need to bring anything with you, just yourself. There are 2 other ways of voting which may suit some of you better. First, you can apply to send your vote in by post. Second, if you can't vote in person, you can ask someone to vote on your behalf. So what are you waiting for?